was walking down the street, feeling kindly, when the wind came out your butt to my wig on. Oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt to my wig on. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise! I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands. 'Cause the wind came out your butt, and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, wind came out your butt to my wig on. Baby, you drive like shit. If you see the car that you almost hit, I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through always stop. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Oh, 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 oh. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Heard the thick of tongue. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whoop that ass. Talking all that shit, spank that ass till you down like a bitch. So I ain't playing. I'm here to get that. Whoop that ass. It's time to push face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a box like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man. A radioactive gift in his hand. His hand was 10 times his normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpower to make a bitch listen and get her naked with sex-wave vision. Hit a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, pimp named Superhand. That motherfucker was Superman. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my gift hand to correct. It's called a bitch slap. Come get your Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad to beat you, you should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God made you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. One more evening. I am your host, School for Justice, here where we live, love, laugh, and conquer police brutality. And on tonight, we have a elderly lady who stopped, pulled over, asked to step outside her vehicle, and interrogated by the officers, and end up with an amputated leg. So sit back, relax, jump on into the topic. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the in the building and enjoy the show. Get your popcorn, get your wine, whatever you may need, and let's get it. All right, we're just gonna jump straight on into the topic. Make sure you smash that like button, support, share, and subscribe as you enter into the building. Appreciate you. Much love, much love.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel.
Will you show myself driving on 503 out of this suspicious vehicle, 425 West, 1700 South, Tango 239 Bravo Tango?
Here with people touching faces. Just to let you know, folks, we in Salt Lake City tonight. We in Utah tonight. We're in Utah tonight, Salt Lake City. All right, let's jump on in it.
Oh, so yeah, we're just gonna talk to you for a second.
What was your name?
Agnes Martinez.
Pretty sure I talked to you the other day.
Yeah, oh, I was closest to the fence. I'm sorry, I thought
You
it felt
can't.
safe right.
No.
I won't.
I already told you that.
I know, I'm sorry.
So you know you're not supposed to be here.
Yes. I thought closest to the fence and let you start talking.
Okay. Why do you keep talking about officer?
Okay.
Hey, ma'am, actually, would you just go ahead and step out on that other side, please? It smells like marijuana in here.
Oh,
I'm gonna have you step.
They don't want you to know about it.
Hey, did you know you might get a big...
We are skipping the ad.
That guy?
That girl, my other friend.
She did it?
No.
Well, where's she?
You better keep a hold on that dog, because the other day he tried to get out.
What was
Why don't you come stand right over here by the fence?
Okay.
You're fine, you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
So this other girl, where did she go?
There was no other girl.
You said the other girl just gave you marijuana.
Yeah, when I seen her.
When you seen her?
Yes.
But then you said her.
No, not her. I said her. I didn't say her.
I feel like you're backtracking on me here.
I'm not backtracking. I'm telling you, it was another friend. It was
Another
She was
friend?
watching the dog.
She's watching the dog. Okay. All right, so check it out. We're going to do...
All right, folks. So first of all, make them do their job. Don't volunteer any information. For whatever odd reason, I missed the drift, didn't catch that. She wasn't supposed to be in that area. Okay. And they saying they smell marijuana. All right. She tells them she got a bag of marijuana up in the car. Do not volunteer any info. Let them do their job. So what's going on next? An illegal search. Now they're searching her vehicle and asking her questions, and she's conversating with them about exactly what all is going on. All right. So we're in Salt Lake City tonight, Utah. with the common laws.
Search the vehicle because I can obviously smell marijuana. Is there anything in there I should know about?
Just my pipe.
Just your pipes
And my little bit of weed.
and your little bit of weed.
That's it. Or pipe, I should say.
Okay. Fair enough, I reckon.
You're going to go through the whole car?
Line on it.
Don't you need search warrant?
No, I do not. It's the vehicle exception. It's a vehicle. It's mobile. It's the vehicle exception.
But it's my home.
Still vehicle.
So she's asking questions. She's questioning him about, how can you search my car? And you hear the officer saying it's a vehicle inspection. So she's asking questions, exercising her rights, because she knows within they're violating a law. You have to have a warrant to search anybody's personal property, vehicle, property, house, apartment, anything of that nature. There has to be a warrant executed. Let's keep this in mind, folks. Let's learn these things. That's what we're here for, to learn the law, learn our rights, and use them, exercise them. Your voice is your power. Your rights is your power. So it's important to know your state laws. Federal always trumps states, and learn the legislations, what's in writing. So as of now, we see she's questioning the officer, asking questions about what is going on, and basically, is there a warrant to search my vehicle? All right, next step, smash that like button as y'all come on into the door. Appreciate you. Much love, much love. Shout out to Georgia Tech. Shout out to my colleagues. I see you all out there and appreciate your support.
Vehicle exception.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
And I have plain smell, which is a exception for a warrantless search.
Go ahead.
And you've also told me. So.
Well, yeah, what else do I do? Lies?
You'd be surprised. Does that door not work?
No.
Yep, it does.
I don't know why I put safe over here. I'm sorry, I will never put it back up over here again.
I already told you once.
Yes,
And
I know.
cut you a break.
I'm sorry.
You're doing it again.
Right, and as we see, while searching the vehicle at the bottom of your screen, officers found a small amount of marijuana. But she told him that. Remember? He asked her, you have any illegal substance, anything illegal in the vehicle? Because I'm going to search it illegally without a warrant. And she told him, I said, do not volunteer any info, make them do their job. So he was aware of it, and he wasn't going to stop searching until he found it, because he knew it was in there. Plus, he smelled it. All right.
Where's Eric?
I have no idea. Why does everybody keep asking about that?
Because he was arrested in your car about
one time. Yeah, 2 times. 2 times. And it was
so
a
it
week
stands
ago.
to reason that you would know where he's at. Because
Well, I don't know where he's at. I haven't talked to him for about a week now.
Can you raise the other Romeo units and have them come over to my location? You said a week?
Yes.
Pretty sure 2 days ago you told me it was a month.
No, I told you it was a couple of days. And you asked me where is he at.
Now they're questioning her about some other person, this associate that I guess they're looking for, or I'm not sure if he's a suspect of anything, but they're asking her about him and where is his whereabouts, and she's saying she don't know. She ain't been around him, whatever. So basically they're questioning her about an associate that she knows.
I seen him on 35th and Redwood.
Guys come from the 1700 South Side. So do you know where he's at?
No, I haven't talked to him since then. And I got pulled over the other night because saying that Eric was in my car. He got out of my car, and Eric wasn't even with me at all. I'm getting tired of being associated with Eric in my car, and I'm not with him.
That's what happens when you hang out with people that.
Well, I haven't been with him.
I just created a $47 ebook in 3 minutes flat using AI. Time me while I do it again. Already in Designer,
They're
interfaces.
skipping the ad.
You were with him as of a week ago. You last.
That was a week ago.
Okay.
And especially like
You're not
telling me-
detained, so you're free to leave.
Okay, I'll call you when I'm coming back.
So whoever was walking by or passing through, that's who the officer was saying, "You're not detained, you're free to leave." That's who he was speaking to. All right, he's still searching the vehicle, as we see, after he done found the baggie. So he's still looking.
Let me see, there's going to be a little bit more than that here.
Go ahead and place your hands behind your back for me.
Why?
Because you're going in handcuffs.
Why?
Because.
Let's not do that.
So right here, when he walks up to her, place your hand behind your back sheet, ask the question why. Because you're going in handcuffs. What's the charge? What is she being charged with? The lady's asking, what am I being charged with? What's going on? Yeah, you found marijuana illegally after I told you it was in there, but you had no warrant to search my vehicle. Then when she asked, why am I being arrested? What's my charge? Because you're going in handcuffs. So now we're finna eyewitness the assault. We're finna witness what goes down next.
Stop. Stop. Man, stop. We're going to take you to the ground next. You want to do that? You want to go to the ground? Relax your arms. Relax your arms.
In a report written over a year after the incident, it's alleged that the officers trip her to bring her to the ground.
Right now. Relax. Ground.
So after the officers tripped her to the ground, when she was not being violent or using any physical need to initiate physical force, now they have this elderly lady to the ground and she's screaming and hollering about her leg. As we see, she's screaming and hollering about her leg after he never told her what she's charged with and why he's arresting her before an illegal search to her vehicle. So let's keep witnessing what's going on. Smash that like button as you enter into the building.
Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Her leg just broke. Her leg broke. Her leg just broke. Get that other arm, please. Hey, get that dog back now.
The video ends there. Miss Martinez was taken directly to the hospital. She underwent multiple surgeries while hospitalized and was discharged 2 weeks later. But just 13 days after leaving, she returned with an infection which led to the amputation of her leg. Miss Martinez filed a lawsuit in July of 2024, arguing that the degree of force used by the officers was not proportionate to the degree of Miss Martinez's alleged minimal resistance.
I want to go back just a tad, folks, because the officer says right at the end of the content, her leg is broke. Her leg is broke. So I want to make sure we don't miss that. We get it, right? Right after he makes the statement, her leg is broke. Let's retake a look.
Her leg just broke. Her leg broke. Her leg just broke.
Her leg just broke. Her leg just broke. He said it 3 times. Her leg is broke. So I just want to make sure that we caught that and we didn't miss it. So he was aware immediately after they threw her to the ground that her leg was broke. He knew exactly what he did. And they continued handcuffing her. So how was this senior lady, 60 years old, elderly, mid-senior age, deserving excessive force and excessive use by the law enforcement? There was a way to handcuff her and properly read her rights and let her know what she's being charged with and why. So I just want to single out, point out, bring to you all's attention in the forefront, they knew her leg was broke. All right. And then we're going to go on down to the medical report after the incident.
Get that other arm, please. Hey, get that dog back now.
The video ends there. Miss Martinez was taken direct.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it,
just by thinking about it.
We are
Meet Base
skipping
44.
the ad.
Quickly to the hospital. She underwent multiple surgeries while hospitalized and was discharged 2 weeks later. But just 13 days after leaving, she returned with an infection which led to the amputation of her leg.
Okay, so
Ms.
once she
Martinez
went
filed a
to
lawsuit in July of 2024, arguing that the degree of force
all right,
used
so once she went to the hospital, they did surgery on her leg and the broken bone. Then 2 weeks later, about 13 days later, after she was released out the hospital, the leg was infected. Then she has an infection in the leg, which led to an amputation. So the hospital had to amputate this lady's leg and cut the leg off, the same leg that the officers broke when they slammed her to the ground violently, forcefully, in corruption and violating her rights. Because the rights were violated, what? Off the top. They had no reason, no business to illegally search her vehicle. They technically didn't have a reason to pull her over. So let's pay attention. I always say step by step, play by play, blow by blow. Those are my words, because we take it one step at a time to see how did we get here to the end result. They pulled her over, had no reason. They searched her vehicle, had no warrant. They take the illegal substance, because in the state of Utah, it is illegal, marijuana, at that time, and use that to arrest her, but never read her rights and tell her what her exact charge is. So now we see the medical report medically where her legs was cut off, amputated, behind this police officer's injury.
amputation of her leg. Ms. Martinez filed a lawsuit in July of 2024, arguing that the degree of force used by the officers was not proportionate to the degree of Ms. Martinez's alleged minimal resistance. The lawsuit is still ongoing. However, in May of 2025, Ms. Martinez pled guilty to 1 count of possession. Her remaining charges were dismissed. And finally, in June of 2025, the Salt Lake City Police and the County District Attorney's Office found no wrongdoing and declined to file charges against the officers. Simgill writes that the force used to effectuate the arrest was reasonable in light of the facts and circumstances.
They found no wrongdoing after this lady lost her leg. A 60-year-old elderly middle-aged woman. Leg was cut off, amputated. She's disabled, can't walk. One leg. Even if you're arresting her for marijuana, how did she end up losing her leg behind your actions? Your actions, buddy, explain that. And you found no probable cause to investigate the officer who constructed the actual arrest and stop. So this is what we got going on, folks. They covered up for the corrupt deputies.
Facts such as Miss Martinez being nearly 60 years old and only 5 foot 2 inches tall. No one had called or reported her. Facts
The woman is 60 years old, 5 foot 2 inches tall. She was pretty much there by herself. I think she has a dog in the back of the car. She has a dog. And it took 3 men to slam her to the ground. And they wonder how her leg got broken. 3 of them to slam her to the hard concrete ground. Slam her to the ground. And she lost her leg. She could have lost her life. So she did file a lawsuit, as we see, there in the state of Utah, in that county with the police department.
It's like performing a warrantless search based on, quote, plain smell and a vehicle exception, or that the officer opened closed, opaque containers during his search.
Okay, I'm going
Or
to take that back
perhaps-
just as much because the narrator emphasizes on the actual search of the vehicle.
Opaque containers during his search. Or perhaps it was closed, opaque containers during his search. Or perhaps it was the most pertinent fact that just a year prior, the 10th Circuit expressly held
Okay, so make sure we catch that there. All right, let's check it out.
Based on, quote, plain smell and a vehicle exception, or that the officer opened closed, opaque containers during his search. Or perhaps it was the most pertinent fact
So
that
what
just a
he's
year
doing right
prior,
there, he's emphasizing on the illegal search. I want to make sure we catch that a little clearly.
Martinez being nearly 60 years old and only 5 foot, 2 inches tall. No one had called or reported her. Facts like performing a warrantless search based on, quote, plain
Facts
smell.
like what? We're going to repeat that. Performing a warrantless search. That's the facts. Performing a warrantless search. They had no legal grounds. They violated this lady's rights. And she knew it. That's why she was asking them questions. She was respectful. She did what was told. She followed directions. And as a result, they amputated her leg. They cut her leg off. That's how they treated this 60-year-old lady. Their own citizen. And no actions, no consequences is being done about it. Share your thoughts, folks. Share your thoughts.
And a vehicle exception, or that the officer opened closed, opaque containers during his search. Or perhaps it was the most pertinent fact that just a year prior, the 10th Circuit expressly held that, quote, the use of the takedown maneuver to slam to the ground a nonviolent misdemeanant who poses no immediate threat to the officer or others based on minimal resistance to arrest is unreasonable and constitutes excessive force under the Fourth Amendment. It's worth noting.
So we see that under the Fourth Amendment. We read that, correct? Want to make sure. Okay? Nonviolent misdemeanor who poses no immediate threat to the officer. In other words, a misdemeanor, a city petty charge. And you oppose no threat, no violence towards the officer, which means it constitutes no excessive force under the Fourth Amendment, under our rights. Federal always trumps states, folks. Feds always trump states. Let's learn and know this for sure.
Is unreasonable and constitutes excessive force under the Fourth Amendment. It's worth noting that one of the officers involved was suspended for his part in hazing a probationary recruit.
You been on a dead body? No, you haven't been on
first dead body.
No, this is the first one.
So you gotta help her.
Last week, we told you about Salt Lake City police officers disciplined for inappropriately handling the dead body of a man experiencing homelessness in what one report called a type of hazing.
Yeah, they're all dopers and addicted devices.
Layman's terms.
So this is the same officer that initiated that whole stop with this lady and ended up breaking her leg and getting it amputated and cut off. Basically, it's showing his corrupt behavior with other people. And this one is on a homeless guy. This is with a homeless man who ended up losing his life. Smash that like button. I appreciate your support. Let's share, like, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Bob told us that they were
We're
going to
gonna go ahead
the alien craft that night.
and skip the ad.
That's why they can't stay house.
Comments like these, captured on body cam the day Lloyd's body was found in his tent, are also revealing of how some officers in the department view the homeless. The rookie who cut through Lloyd's skin was taking his direction from these officers.
There's a lot of recruits who quit.
Paul Molinax and Mark Keep. The Fox 13 Investigates team found they are both currently being sued in federal court for separate cases related to their treatment of people experiencing homelessness. James Roberts.
All right, so we heard that they're being sued in federal court. They already have federal lawsuits going on. This is behind abuse of power and the treatment of the homelessness, our homeless people.
A civil rights attorney in Texas. He's representing the family of Nikon Brandon in a lawsuit filed last year. Brandon died in Salt Lake in 2022, shortly after police held him face down during a struggle. He was homeless at the time. Keep is one.
Okay, so they held this man down. He was homeless, as the narrator just said, at that time, and held his head down into the ground where he could not breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Is this not a reminder This is the exact same force and act that they used towards George Floyd. I want to point out something, folks. They do it to their own people. They do it to their own people as well. They do it to their own color, their own race, their own kind, Caucasians. Let me tell you the difference between the Caucasians and when it's done to black folks, to my people, it's not publicized. It's not going viral all over the nation. It's not all viral online and on the news and in the papers or whatnot. They keep it hush, hush, low, low, swept up under the rug when they do it to their own people. But they definitely do it to their own. It's corruption of character. That's what we have to attack. And hate has no discrimination. It has zero stereotype and discrimination. So this man here who they abused and attacked, he was homeless and he was deleted and unalived the exact same way George Floyd was. We just never heard about it. You know why? Because it was their own people. And there is as we heard, a current federal lawsuit against the situation, and it's a case.
One of several officers accused of continuing to hold Brandon down after he'd been handcuffed until he ultimately stopped breathing.
After he had been handcuffed, they continued to hold him down, smudge his face into the ground, basically choke him, smothering him where he can't breathe after he's handcuffed for minutes upon minutes, and he loses his life because they basically smother him till he's unalive. And that's what happened to this man. And again, it didn't go viral because it's done to their own people. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think it's done to their own people? Because I have the receipts, I have the evidence, and I cover, as far as that goes, just as many of their kind as well as my race. So in other words, just as many Caucasians as there is black people that this brutality is done to. I cover it on my channel. I show the receipts. I show content. It's not he say, she say. We have the proof to watch. And then I want us to dialogue and I can hear your thoughts, listen to you. And, you're more than welcome to engage and share your ideas of what you see in your perception of things in the situation that's going down, things that's going on. But again, I'm going to reiterate, this man right here lost his life the exact same way George Floyd did, by police officers. We never heard of it because it's kept swept up under the rug. That's the difference in their people and in the way they treat my people. It's plastered all over the scene. It's gone viral nationwide when it's my folks. That's the difference. Share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And again, there is a current federal civil case against the police officers on this situation.
The Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office declined to pursue criminal charges in Brandon's death, saying the involved officers used reasonable force. But the lawsuit claims—
Wow. So they have a chief and lieutenant that's covering their asses. That's why they're getting away with everything. And that there was reasonable force. You got what, 3-4 officers on this one man and he's already handcuffed? Why are you still on him? He's face down on the ground. It makes zero sense. It doesn't even make logical sense. So here's the lawsuit claim on this note.
the officers were not properly trained on the dangers of the prone position or on how to deal with someone in a mental crisis.
So we're going to reiterate over that. They are not being properly trained on the dangers associated with prone restraints. There's a proper training, and you get that before you're sworn into duty. Not being trained to interact with someone experiencing a mental health crisis. In other words, they're just throwing anybody in there. Anybody with a badge. That's the problem. There's no proper qualifications going on. And so this is the federal lawsuit in the case against the Utah Salt Lake City. police department, same state, same city.
Crisis. The city's attorneys dispute claims of improper training in both cases. A separate lawsuit centers around the actions of Mullinax and another Salt Lake City officer.
We're going to take you to the ground next. You want to do that?
They said they smelled weed in Agnes Martinez's car and told her they needed to search it. During a struggle to put her in handcuffs, they used what the lawsuit calls a dangerous takedown method. The complaint alleges that takedown broke her leg. A spokesman for the department said he couldn't comment on pending litigation, but in a statement he said, "We are committed to our department's core values that include compassion in every interaction, especially with people experiencing homelessness, and hold ourselves accountable."
I'm curious to see what
Just vicious lies and will not respond to litigation. In other words, you're a coward. And what can you say? Because the truth will always prevail. That's what we got going on. And it's a blessing in disguise to have body cams. They never let us down.
you think. Was the force used excessive, or was it absolutely necessary to slam an elderly woman to the ground?
I'm going to let the moderator or narrator re-ask that question 1 sec. All right.
Or was it absolutely necessary to slam an elderly woman to the ground? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have a video you'd like me to review, you can submit it using my form in the description.
So what do you think? That's the question. What do you think? I'm like the narrator. Was it necessary to slam that old lady and use excessive force, or the force that they did to get her to the ground and to submit to a handcuff? Was it necessary, or was it police brutality? You tell me. We're going to always speak truth to power, and we're going to always go over the law, go over the facts, go over the receipts, and just share your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you see, and what do you believe is done proper or improper according to our laws, our rights, our voice, our power, and our constitutional amendments. And until next time, folks, I am always your host, here to show love, to spread truth, to spread knowledge, and to speak truth to power. Thanks for sharing, thanks for joining, and thanks for liking. And until next time, people, salute. Speak truth to power.